If Tears of the Kingdom you can't pet dogs, bad game.
It's automatically 1 star.
Okay, so no, literally, like that's how you can tell if a game is good. If it has a fishing mechanic or you can pet a dog, the game is good. But if it doesn't have,
if it
they
doesn't
don't
add
have
both of
a
those
fishing
things to this game.
mechanic, or you can't pet or pick up a dog, it's a bad game.
Hello, and welcome to the Joystick Drift Podcast, the show where we drift off just as much as a joystick. I'm your host, Nick, and today, all four of us are here. Alex is back after taking 2 weeks off. He's back with us, which is very epic. Also joined by Melina and Colin. And today, it's a little bit of a, bittersweet episode because, we're 2 weeks out in recording, like, for Tears of the Kingdom coming out. But when this episode comes out, it comes out in 2 days. Like, that's crazy. Like, 2 days to the next Zelda game. So we want to take some time to talk about Breath of the Wild. We want to do a Breath of the Wild retrospective and say, here's what we loved, here's what we didn't like, here's some controversial opinions, here's some things we just discovered that you could do like 24 hours ago. And then we're also going to do a little bit of like Tears of the Kingdom final hype. What are we really looking forward to? What are we expecting? That kind of thing. But before we jump into that, I do want to say, if you're listening on YouTube, subscribe. We could be past 1,000 before this episode comes out, which is kind of crazy because we're currently at 939. I mean, we could hit 1,000 before I even finish editing this episode. I don't know. The growth has been crazy. So to all the new people, hello, welcome. This is the podcast, kind of the whole main premise of the channel. And yeah, so if you're listening on Spotify or whatever, follow, give us 5-star review, help us get out there, meet more people, or reach more people. I'm going to stop talking now. And actually, I'm going to pass it over to Alex, who's been gone for 2 weeks. So I want to know how you been, how you doing, what have you been playing, what's up with you? Go for it.
Is my mic still working? Just to ask.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, because my XLR converter, the 48 volt button, you know that button, Nick?
Mm-hmm.
That button wasn't on.
Oh.
And I haven't
Mine's
noticed
never
this whole
on.
time. Oh.
That doesn't really do anything. It's just it makes condenser mics sound better.
Oh. I don't know. It was weird. Because before it never worked unless I had that button pressed. But anyway, so the last couple weeks, like when I got out of the hospital, it was terrible because especially during in the hospital, it was just like a lot of pain, like physically.
That makes sense. You did have like a big surgery, so.
But like not just on my chest, but also my back.
Man.
And so moving around, it was not fun at all. And I just did not have any energy or strength to move to my desk to like help do podcasts.
No, that's totally understandable. That's why I told you could take 2 weeks off. You could have taken off longer if you wanted to. Like, it was all dependent on how you were feeling and how your recovery was going.
Well, actually, my recovery is going a lot better than expected, so.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. In fact, I was supposed to spend like a week in the hospital. I got out in 3 days.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my surgeon said as well. But what I've been playing, I did not want to play Elden Ring because that required me going to my desk. So I had to find a game that I can play while sitting on my bed. And I saw Persona 3 and 4 were on sale on the eShop. So with some money, I bought both of them. And oh my god, Persona 4, a really great game.
It is pretty good.
Except for the first dungeon, which Colin told me is not a castle or a palace.
Yeah, no, it's not a palace. So the dungeons before P5 aren't palaces. Like, palaces are strict to P5. The rest are just kind of like dungeons, except, well, no, 4 has multiple dungeons. 3 has just one big dungeon that you go up. So
I didn't play much, and P4 is kind of some I has some things that are different that I have to get used to. Because, for example, I can't see my levels unless I actually go into the menu, which is kind of annoying.
yeah,
But
yeah.
But like the gameplay itself is really fun, except for the first dungeon boss, which kicked my butt. Like,
Persona 4 and Persona 3 are like very rude. Like, that's why whenever we were talking about like certain bosses in P5, when I refer to them as like Persona bosses, that's what I mean. It's like they are incredibly rude.
Clearly.
But like compared to SMT, like mainline SMT, that's nothing. Because apparently I haven't played an SMT game yet, and I'm planning on starting them soon. But they are like incredibly rude.
But I remembered some that should not have been forgotten. Fuse personas.
Yeah, fusion's very important when it comes to 3 and 4.
But for
4 especially.
P4, one thing I'm gonna say another thing I don't like so far is like how the personas work.
What do you mean?
So in Persona 5, you sum your persona through masks.
Okay.
And with Persona 4, I'm not gonna say anything unless
That one.
Nick and
That's not really a spoiler.
the way they're summoned through cards.
So the reason they do the cards is because what they do is they crush the cards because the tarot cards indicate fate, and they're crushing fate to change their own destiny and stuff like that.
Wow.
So
See, that makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
I guess I'm more of a fan of the Persona 5's mechanic with masks.
Yeah. 4's
Probably because you get an outfit instead of like your regular clothes.
I mean, that's just a new thing they added with 5, but with 4 there are costumes that you get like later on.
But overall, like, so far, really fun game. But right now, I only just got past midterm, so I'm not at the second dungeon yet.
Yeah. 4 is fun. 4 can be slow at times, but also, like, I think with 4, it's a lot more consistent compared to 5, where 5 is, like, really good at, like, really, really fast at the beginning, and it kind of slows down and then gets a lot faster towards the end. 4 is kind of consistent throughout, where it's, like, the pacing is similar throughout the entire game.
Another thing I'm gonna say, Teddy better than Mona so far.
Okay, I agree on that. I like Teddy a lot more than Morgana.
But one thing I'm really excited for, Persona 3 with Koromaru.
Koromaru's great. I still need to go back and finish Persona 3, but Koromaru, he's great.
But that's like the only game I've been playing.
Understandable.
Anyway, I'm going to pass the baton to Colin now.
Yo. So, once again, nothing has changed from the last episode. I'm still playing Tales of the Abyss.
Epic.
And I'm still watching One Piece. But
Not epic.
hey, no. Don't you talk bad about One Piece. One Piece
I just did.
Well, you know what?
This isn't an anime podcast. Don't talk about One Piece. Go.
I'm going to talk about One Piece.
No, don't. This is not an anime podcast.
I'm going to talk about One Piece. So
What a shame.
Tales of the
For
Abyss.
Nick, anyway.
Tales of the Abyss, though. It's a great game. once again, I recommend everybody plays it. It's great.
I'm sure
if
it is.
you really like JRPGs, you really like long,
I do really like JRPGs.
if you really like long games that you can just sink a lot of hours into that also have like amazing stories throughout, Tales of the Abyss is really good.
I do like all of those things.
Yeah. The only issue is it's really hard to get. So hey,
Is that on 3DS?
it is on 3DS. It's just really expensive.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's really expensive to find on 3DS. It was never on the eShop, and the other way you were able to get it
PlayStation 2.
was PS2. Yeah.
Well, let's see how much it costs.
It's like 70, maybe.
$50.
Nice. That's probably the lowest you're gonna find it. Maybe. I've seen it at some sites for like 20, but it's like in like kind of mid condition.
I wonder what the infamous retro online game store sells it for.
A lot of money.
Yeah, but yeah, Tales of the Abyss, great game. I'm still like maybe
And $60.
Yep. Maybe halfway done. I don't know. I've been playing that game for like a month on and off, but
Do you think you'll be able to finish it before Zelda?
Probably. If I go really hard on it, then yeah. But yeah, anyway, the reason I said I'm going to talk about One Piece is because this episode isn't coming out for a bit. By that I mean like 11 days. I'm on episode 81 of One Piece, and I want to try to guess what episode I'm going to be on by the time this episode comes out.
I'm going to say 145.
That's way too high. I was going to say
No, you have 12 days.
No. I was going to say 110. Cuz I'm
going to stick with 145.
All right, if you want to go with 145, then go. You know what? I'm gonna let Alex and Melina also take a guess on what episode I'm gonna be.
What are you on right now?
I'm on 81. I'm on episode 81 of One Piece.
At the end of the week?
No. By the time this podcast comes out, so
10 days.
So yeah, 12 days, right? 12 days, 10 days,
10 days
10 days
to May 10th.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, by May 10th.
The end of season 2.
That doesn't.
Which is like
what
160.
So are you saying the end of Alabasta? Because that's...
Yes.
Because I'm going by sagas. Okay. So, all right.
I mean, that's where I am right now, and I just stopped watching for like
Don't
months.
worry, listener. We'll get to Zelda eventually, I promise.
Okay, then I'll just make my guess real quick. I think you'll get not to the end of Alabasta, but maybe like halfway through.
All right, bet. The reason I said that is because actually we're on pretty good time. So anyway, hey, Melina.
Yeah.
What have you been doing?
Well, by the time this episode comes out, I believe I will be done with Okami.
Epic.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a big it's a big prediction.
That's crazy.
I really do think I'll be done. So yes, I already have my next 2 at least planned. So the next one would be Finding Paradise. And then after that, I should hopefully have my PC and anything else that I need to set up my, like, legit stuff, so that
Unless we can hit 2.5K and then she has to play Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I have Finding Paradise lined up, and then I should have my PC, all that stuff. Hopefully I can get the PlayStation, and if so, Yakuza would be next. So that'll be a long series to go through. I'm not even gonna 100% it. I'm just gonna go through as I go.
No,
I'm not. I know I'm not.
100%.
I'll 100% on my own time, but I'll just go through blindly. Well, I say blindly, but Colin will guide me if I get stuck.
So, the thing that you mainly would want to do for Yakuza is you just want to do the main 2 side modes. And
Right,
then like
that makes
some
sense.
either some sub stories, but I also know you were talking about all sub stories at some point. Which doing all sub stories takes a lot less time than 100%. So,
I have not
True.
continued Yakuza 0 like at all.
You should.
I don't have
started
anything
it?
to play Yakuza on, so
You should continue playing it, Alex. It's really good. It takes a minute to get going, but once it gets going, you just don't want to stop.
I didn't know he started it.
I did.
I got to like the first save point.
sounds like you
Which
guys
is
are
not
doing a
even the end of
Yakuza
the first-
episode without me.
Yeah.
Well,
Which is not even
yeah.
the end of the first chapter.
Chapter 1 is pretty long. I will say that. It's long, and it is one of the... I don't want to say one of the worst chapters, but it's pretty boring. And that's just kind of the consensus from a lot of people. So,
But the karaoke,
oh, karaoke's great.
Who doesn't love karaoke?
like imagine being a mafia member, and you can sing like for a band at the same time.
It's pretty great. Shout out to Nick playing Yakuza 0 Chapter 1 for the first time, and then getting like a 37 on the karaoke.
I tried, okay.
He did
Wait,
it
it
so he
actually
did so
happened?
bad he didn't even get the scene.
Oh
Like,
my god!
I had never seen somebody do that before.
He performed as well as someone attempting through the fire and flames on expert mode for the first time.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted
Melina,
for
do you have
Yakuza.
anything else you
Yeah.
want to share?
Not really. I mean, that's
any other big developments that maybe listeners wouldn't know about?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
I kind of baited you into that one.
If you haven't seen the video, I got the Tears of the Kingdom OLED, and I did a sort of vlog-styled video about it. So go check that out on our page.
Welcome to OLED Gang.
Oh yes, I am part of OLED Gang now. I have to go through the process of like putting it or transferring all my data over, which I just ordered a another storage like Sans disk, so that it's easier, because I found that out. I was like, make sure your other Switch has enough storage when you transfer all your stuff. I was like, I'm gonna need another Sans disk.
Did you just say
But-
Sans disc?
I meant, you know what I meant.
Ba-da-ba-bum.
You realize you have to realize that I haven't slept since I left for work, which was yesterday at like 2 a.m.
Yeah. Yo, I heard Megalovania on vinyl a few days ago. What is he doing?
Is it different?
grabbing his Switch.
Why is he grabbing his Switch?
He's bored.
Yeah.
No, I'm not bored.
One thing I want to say about the Tears of the Kingdom OLED, the straps for the Joy-Cons would have looked a lot better for the white Joy-Cons of the OLED.
Okay,
Because
Melina,
they're just purely white.
I have to ask, and this was my biggest gripe when I saw it, like the leaked images and then the official images. How does the dock look in person? Because I don't love that like dragon goes from white on gold when one half and then to white on white. Like you can't really see it. Does that look different in person?
Wait. What does the? Wait, what is
Like
okay?
on
What
the
is
front of
what is the
on the front of
teased
the
image?
dock.
Right, on the front of the dock. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
like the dragon that's on the logo. Like the dragon that goes in a circle, the two heads that are like circling each other. That's the background of the logo. It's on the dock, but it's white. And I didn't like it because it's white on white.
Wait,
and
is
you
it?
can't really see it.
Wait, you're gonna have to like mute my audio. I need I need to grab my dock because it's like a different.
All right, while
table
she
and
does that, I'll talk about what I've been playing and stuff while we wait for Melina to come back. So,
Yes, how have you been doing, Nick? And what have you been
Oh.
playing?
I'm
good.
just now noticing the dragon. Give me a second.
see? That's what I'm saying. It's so hard to see.
Okay,
They
wait.
should have made it a different color. Like they should have made it gold or something. Or kept it the teal that it is on the, or like the teal green, if you will.
I mean,
I
I
wanna see
didn't
this.
notice it until you pointed it out. To be honest, I still really like the design.
There's a dragon?
Yeah.
And-
It's stupid because you can't really see it because of how they colored it.
And
You kind of can, but you got to look for it.
I'm still gonna say this though.
Oh my god, it is
when
there.
The front of it.
That
when
looks
you-
terrible.
The front of it is so like smooth. I know I've said that so many times. It is so smooth. Like I
No,
just
you
want to
said
like.
sleek.
I just literally want to like keep going back and forth on it.
Okay, but do you think those gold Joy-Cons are better than the blue and purple, the Skyward Sword ones? Because I think these Skyward Sword ones are better.
Yeah, even though the question's not to me, I'm just gonna say yes. The Skyward Sword ones are better.
I think these look better.
I like the Tears of the Kingdom ones better.
I like the
Ew.
Tears of the Kingdom ones. The only thing that I would have changed would be the gradient of the green on the left Joy-Con. I think it's just too deep of a green. Other than that,
I like that.
The green should have been on the other one because it's on Link's right arm, not his left.
Yeah. Like
They
also,
should have switched it.
I like it because green's my favorite color.
No.
that's crazy.
Green is a good color. I'm just saying it should have been a different shade of green.
Here's a question though: how much will that sell for in the future? Will it be worth a lot?
I mean,
Probably.
depends. Depends on packaging stuff and everything.
It depends on how many they make. If this is if it's still in stock months from now, we'll see. But if it's not, then I don't know. There's also, and then I'll say this, and then I'll go into my stuff. I would save up and buy it because I do think it looks cool.
The back of it is really cool.
There's also well, first of all, I don't have it yet. I should have it by the time this episode comes out, but I ordered a case for my OLED that's Tears of the Kingdom themed that I think looks cooler. But I'm also thoroughly on the train that we're getting Switch 2 this year.
That's why I'm not getting an OLED.
Because one, for those who aren't aware, okay, I'll just give you a brief summary. Nintendo skips E3 this year because they quote unquote don't have anything significant to show. Okay? We're all like, okay, that makes sense. Maybe they got a lighter year, they got a new console next year, they kind of got a lighter second half, they don't have anything to show.
They lost relevance after Tears of the Kingdom.
And then we find out, a week ago, or at the beginning of this week, they're going to Gamescom in August. And they haven't gone to Gamescom in 4 years. The last time they went was after they revealed the Switch Lite. Because they had new hardware to go hands-on. We also don't know what's coming after Pikmin 4 in July. Literally nothing. Aside from Mario Kart DLC and Pokemon DLC. We know nothing of what's coming after Pikmin 4. So, the hot theory, and I can get behind it, is there's some kind of big presentation between June and August that's like, hey, we got a new console coming out for this holiday. You're gonna want to snatch it. And that's why Tears of the Kingdom is in May, because it's going to run a lot better on the new console. But they wanted it out in May as to not make it an exclusive for the new one. So it can go both ways, and you're still selling the old Switches, but you also are like, hey, you want to play Tears of the Kingdom in 60 FPS? Upgrade to the new system. Bam, bada bing, bada boom. So I'm fully on that train. If it happens, great, I'll upgrade my Switch. If it doesn't happen until next year, okay, cool. My OLED works just fine. So anyway, how have I been? What have I been doing?
How have I
Just
been?
getting excited for Tears of the Kingdom. It's 2 days away at this point. I wish me saying that right now was true. It'll be true when the episode comes out.
You'll be
It's 2
gouging
days
down
away.
on Chick-fil-A.
So close, man. I'm so excited. Get my 3 square meals of Chick-fil-A on Friday. Whoo! It's gonna be great.
Damn,
but
he said, whoo.
been cranking out some great reels. People really dug into the Ganondorf is the hero thing. The comments are like, there's a lot of people on Copium who think it's true, and then there's other people who are like, well, you're an idiot if you believe this. And I'm like, I'm just here
That's a nice argument,
taking
Senator.
the views, man.
That's a nice
Taking the
argument,
views and
Senator. Now, why
subs.
don't you back it up with a source?
As for what I've been playing a lot of the Xenoblade DLC, and I think we're going to do an episode on it in the future. I need to finish it. Colin needs to finish it, and we might have
I need
some
to
special
start it.
guests on. So that's cool.
For all the people that actually believe Ganondorf is the hero, that's a nice argument, Senator. Now, why don't you back it up with a source?
Their source is like, well, technically Link in Wind Waker isn't the chosen hero. He makes the gods choose him, which means that the sword isn't for the thanks. You defeated your argument. in the like you defeated your own argument in the comment
No.
by
But red
saying
hair.
that he couldn't use the sword.
The red hair argument I thought was hilarious. I'm so sorry. I really thought it was because I was like, it's hair. I don't what.
It's hair. Also,
for
Link had
all we
pink hair in
know,
A Link to
Link
the
in an
Past, so it's
alternate-
not like he's always been blonde.
Like, for all we know, like Link could have had a different hair color. I don't freaking know.
Maybe he's a Zonai, and the Zonai have different color hair.
Maybe.
It was also 10,000 years ago. So
What if Ganondorf is
10,000
Link and
years.
Link is Ganondorf?
no.
No.
The Zelda formula has always been the chosen hero wields the Master Sword and fights alongside the princess, who's a reincarnation of the goddess, to fight Ganondorf, who's the reincarnation of Demise. It's always been that way. They're not gonna revolutionize the wheel with this game. They're not gonna say, well, actually, Ganondorf is the hero. No.
Because then
They might do some cool twist with like, oh, they locked him under Hyrule Castle because then they kept him alive, but like in a coma, so the cycle didn't keep repeating. Like, oh, they might throw that kind of twist in there, but it's not going to be anything like, oh, Ganondorf's the hero.
yeah, because if that were the case, they would
never
just
would-
ruin their entire timeline, basically. Because it's like, when did the curse break? How did the curse break? Demise literally
Exactly.
cursed them in Skyward Sword.
When you first brought that up on Discord, I was like, "Are you joking? Like, who actually thinks that?"
Apparently, there are some people who do, and I'm like, if you can take the hate for that, more power to you.
I mean, there are also people who think in Tears of the Kingdom Link's gonna talk, but anyway.
Hey,
That would be Nick, though.
Okay, how
Yeah.
about this? If Ganondorf
I
is the
think-
chosen it turns out to be the chosen hero, I will play. What's a terrible game I should play? If Ganondorf is the chosen hero,
E.T.
I don't know. That's for you to decide.
you have to play all 3 Xenoblade games on stream.
Whoa.
deal.
What?
No,
I will buy the
that's-
best
that-
Elgato.
that-
Yeah, I'm already doing 2.
I'll buy the best Elgato capture card and stream all of them daily.
That's just
Yeah,
why?
yo. All right, Nintendo, let's revolutionize the wheel together.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm agreeing to it because it's not going to happen.
Exactly.
If it does, it's gonna be really funny.
It really.
Speaking of-
Nintendo has the
speaking-
option
like
to do the
how-
funniest thing ever right now.
No, because I want to point out somebody commented on the short where Nick made the bet for the Game Awards that cost him Chick-fil-A, and they said this didn't age well.
Hey, Melina, why don't you? Actually, no, I'm not going to say that. I don't want to do that.
What? Do it. Say it.
Nope, never mind.
Say it.
Read the. Why don't you read that username out loud?
Oh, shout out. I
Yeah,
agree with
do
them. It did not age well. Oh wait.
Do it.
Wait. My phone died.
While she's
let
doing
me get
that,
it.
I just want to point out
Wow.
I want to point out that short Nick made now has like over 26,000 views.
Oh man, it went up 2,000 in the last 2 hours. I haven't.
because it didn't age well.
Who commented? We got to give a shout out, and then we can move on.
That's true. Don't
Also,
worry.
how'd your phone die? What, do you not charge your phone ever?
I told you before we started recording my phone was dying.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
If you did, I didn't hear you.
And also
Here.
the fact that someone decided to write a whole essay.
Dude, I love
On that
those. Did you
short-
see the one? Okay, I don't want this to turn into like let's rag on people who are commenting because I love that you took the time to comment. That's great. But there was one person, I won't say their name, and please don't go look for their comment and bully them. There's one person who commented like this essay, and it was a really good theory, and I replied and said, "Oh, this is like a really cool theory, like nice theory. Thanks for typing it out." And then they replied to that comment and said, "Oh, can you make a video on my theory?" And I was like, "Nope, red flag.
Not
Nope.
happening at all.
That's not how this works.
We ain't giving you attention.
We can, like, if you want to leave a comment, that's great. But I'm not, like, no, I don't do that. The account, Colin's going to laugh at this.
But also-
the account that said this did not age well is Freaky Ninja.
Oh, you found it? Okay, there.
Yeah.
But I'm just
Don't
going to
tell him,
point this
Colin.
out on
I'm
that.
not.
Just
I'm
let him-
not,
just
I'm
let
not
him
gonna
be.
say anything. My lips are sealed. Shout out Freaky Ninja, I guess.
Shout out Freaky Ninja.
I thought
I'm
that
gonna
was.
also
I
point this
loved
out
the
on that
comment. I
short,
personally
nice
did because I thought it was
font.
funny.
I'm also going to point this out on that short. Nice font.
Oh, thanks. I just uploaded Zelda font to Premiere.
I
Figured
really
I'd make it
enjoyed
look a little different. All right, anyway, we're a half hour into the episode
Hey,
and
so
have
Zelda,
not gotten to
am I
the
right,
main
guys?
topic. The
Yeah,
Legend
oh
of
my
Zelda
gosh.
Breath of the Wild released on March
Third.
3rd, 2017.
Damn.
Alongside the Nintendo Switch. Not the... Literally, Breath of the
That-
Wild
that-
launched with nothing that is in my hand right now.
That's
But-
that's not the Switch. That's not the Switch.
No, this is the Switch OLED. My Switch is somewhere in my room. I still have it.
My Switch is in someone else's hands, probably.
My
It's
Switch is a launch
revolutionized.
Switch.
Mine is an OG Switch. It's not like a launch Switch, but it's like a V1 before they updated the battery in the box.
Yeah, mine doesn't have that.
Man, that's an L. I can't wait to watch your Switch explode playing Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's just gonna like start. You're gonna see smoke come out of the top and be like, all
No,
right, well,
playing
done.
Persona 3 makes it just go makes the fan go crazy.
well, that's gonna be unfortunate.
I mean, yeah.
Maybe that's why they put the Zelda OLED out. They're like, all right, Zelda fans, come on, you gotta upgrade.
I'm not.
Oh, I know you're not,
They make me upgrade. I'm just not gonna play their game.
man. Anyway, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild revolutionized the Zelda franchise. It's the first open world Zelda game. Very highly rated. It's my #1 game of all time. Spoilers
is
for
Melina's.
Alex's top 5 video. It's his favorite Zelda game of all time. Go watch that video, by the way, if you haven't. It'll be out by the time this comes out. But we all love
Just
Breath of
don't
the
go
Wild.
hating on me for one game that is on that list.
I know exactly which game you're talking about, but I'm not going to say. You're going to have to go watch the video and find out. So, Breath of the Wild. What do we like? Let's just have an open conversation about Breath of the Wild. What do we like? What do we not like? What are we still discovering to this day? I finally learned how to whistle sprint. Only took me 6 years to learn how to do.
Honestly, I'm surprised you didn't know, because I've known that for a long time.
No, I knew you could do it. I just didn't know how to do it.
I've been doing
I
it
finally
wrong.
figured it out.
I've been doing it wrong.
Yeah, I started out.
It worked, but it turns out it's the wrong way, because I've just been tapping the buttons.
Yeah, all you have to do is hold down, like down on the D-pad and tap B, and it works. You don't have to tap them both.
But I'm gonna say it's an awkward way to play, because
It really is.
It's literally like this.
Especially if you're not on the Pro Controller that's a little closer together, like on the Joy-Cons that's spread apart. Yeah, it's really awkward. Also, I finished my Master Mode run of Breath of the Wild on stream. It took us 17 tries, I think, to beat Calamity Ganon.
I'm gonna have fun with that.
I was
I'm gonna have
meanwhile
fun.
I was in
Yeah,
the comments.
please.
I was in the chat bragging about how I defeated Calamity Ganon first try on Master Mode with the flawless victory.
Listen,
And then Nick points out that it's not that impressive if you're using the champions. What is they called?
champion abilities?
Champion abilities.
I
yeah.
still think you should have done it without the divine beasts.
We would have been there for another hour.
And
He
I'm gonna be
at
honest.
least do some damage at the beginning.
And
And also, I don't think Thunderblight Ganon is one you really want to keep on fighting every time you lose to Ganon.
no, that's why I did Thunderblight in the Divine Beast, because I'm like, no, I'm not doing this every single time.
Fireblight is the easiest.
Fireblight, you just throw bombs and call it a day, and that's it. I really hate that one attack, which 90% of my issues with that boss fight that I had on the stream would have been resolved if I had more than 3 hearts. Like, the one where I get caught under the axe that throws fire at you, like, yeah, if you had, like, 10 hearts, you'd totally survive that, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But it was only because I had 3 hearts, they're like, oh, that's an insta-kill. Like, you can't take any damage, really.
yeah,
I mean, that would
So-
be like wouldn't that be like 40 extra shrines you would have to visit?
Yeah. But, and
Yeah,
I
I
could
did
have
all
done it, too.
120.
Like, we had time to do it.
So you would essentially be let's see here, 120 shrines, like 2/3 of the shrines completed.
Yeah, pretty much. I only did 30 something to get like max stamina, so
I think you did like 40 or some.
I'd have to look and see. I don't remember.
I'll do that for you.
But yeah, so I love Breath of the Wild. I'm gonna do another run, not another run, but like I'm gonna do the boss fight on my main profile right before Tears of the Kingdom comes out, just to like kind of put a nice little bow on everything. And
you
then
did
put
40 exactly.
Put 40, okay. And then just put a nice little bow on it. Take the cartridge out, slide it away. I'm hoping Walmart ships my collector's edition a little early and doesn't delay it. If they delay it, I will just find money in my bank account and balance transfer and be like, I'm just gonna go pick up a random copy from GameStop.
If they don't ship it early, Nick is going to burn down a building.
Whoa. Okay, hold on.
Whoa. That's a joke. That's a joke.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
That's a joke.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
I'll be honest, Nick. When I was watching the live stream and I did not see Mipha's Grace, I was like, wait a minute, are you also going to have to fight Water Blight Ganon as well?
No.
I'm like, how do you have the patience to fight 3 different Ganons in Master Mode with only 3 hearts?
Listen, all I'm saying is Walmart says my collector's edition should be here by May 12th. Not on May 12th, not after, by May 12th. Which to me, as a consumer, says, that sounds like by May 12th sounds like that's the latest it could be here, not the earliest. So like it could be here Wednesday or Thursday.
And then it's not.
And then I get to play Zelda before everyone else does. And of course, if I do, I'll be a good person and not spoil anything, because that's what you should do if you have a leaked copy of the game. You don't spoil it. You just enjoy it for yourself and not tell anyone. Like a good Samaritan.
You know what's going to be sad?
Life?
Colin, where did you pre-order Tears of the Kingdom?
Yeah.
From where?
The eShop.
Okay, so
Ew. What a
essentially, I'm the
Bro,
only
I got
one.
the voucher. I saved $30 on that game.
Yeah, and what's your point?
I'm the only one.
What happens when
in this
Nintendo shuts down the
podcast-
Switch eShop?
I'm the only one in this podcast who's going to have a physical
I'll still have
copy
the games.
the earliest, because I'm going to the midnight release at GameStop.
So am I.
It's
That's
probably gonna
debatable.
suck.
I could
It's
still
probably-
get mine. I could still get mine Wednesday or Thursday and get it before both of you.
It's probably going to suck.
I'm just gonna say, when they shut down the eShop, I'll still have the games, because if they do it to where they remove the license that you buy for the game when you buy it digitally, then they just lost a lot of money.
No, they did.
I only went to like one midnight release and one like 9 o'clock release. The midnight release was for Call of Duty Black Ops 3. That was fun. The 9 o'clock release was for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yeah.
I really want to go to the midnight release for Tears of the Kingdom. Do I need a GameStop says they have collector's editions, and I'm like, I have a $100 GameStop gift card, but at that point, it's too late to cancel the Walmart one and like send back, I guess. Because doing returns not through Amazon is a hassle, because you have to repackage it, relabel it, and resend it out. Whereas with Amazon, you just kind of take it to UPS or whatever, and they do most of the work for you. So I kind of want to go just because I'm so excited for this game, and I've never done a midnight launch before, and also I feel like with my town, I would be okay to do a midnight launch. I don't think there's going to be a ton of people there.
A lot of times midnight launches suck because you're standing outside in the freezing cold, or you're wasting gas with heat in your car.
Yeah, and also everything else in that area is closed by midnight. Which actually, I think a midnight launch for us would be 11 o'clock, because they usually do midnight launches based off of midnight Eastern, so you're not at an hour disadvantage to someone who's on Eastern time, so it's not that late. So I don't know. I'm on the fence if I go. If I get a collector's edition, maybe I'll go through the hassle of canceling and returning my Walmart one, because I also have a $100 GameStop gift card, so could save myself $100, which is 90% of the collector's edition. But I don't know. We'll see. I have to call my GameStop and see if they're even doing one to begin with. If they're not, then that solves that issue for me. So anyway, Breath of the Wild. What a game.
Yes.
Anything anyone want to add about Breath of the Wild? I will throw it to someone who's not me because I feel like I've talked about Breath of the Wild enough.
Yeah. Who wants to go? Yeah.
I mentioned a lot of stuff I liked about Breath of the Wild in my video of my top 5 Zelda games. So there really isn't much that I can talk about that I haven't mentioned before.
Because, I mean, if nobody has anything to add about Breath of the Wild, we could totally just pivot and talk about Tears of the Kingdom instead.
I mean,
that.
Weren't we also going to talk about what we didn't like about Breath of the Wild?
I mean, hey, you got stuff you don't like? Go for it.
I mean, I have a few things that I didn't like about Breath of the Wild, and I hope are improved in Tears of the Kingdom. And they kind of look like they're going to be improved, but who knows? Like, one thing...
I could probably answer your question, but I can't.
Yeah. The thing that I just wasn't a huge fan of, and I didn't really notice it until I had played a lot of other open world games, like specifically Elden Ring, was that I felt Breath of the Wild's world was very empty. And, like, basically, whenever you're going around the world, it just doesn't necessarily feel like it's incredibly packed or incredibly, like, lively. Like, and I think that's the aesthetic they were obviously going for, but I think they can do it in a different way. And the way Elden Ring did it was a very good way. Was, even though it's a world that takes place after something where it's like, I think the best way they described it is, you know, the big fight's already over and people are putting the chairs away. You can still make it lively in a way where it's interesting, where you're going around and you can still, like, see things that are references to either what has happened or what hasn't happened. But I feel a lot of the things with the Breath of the Wild world was they just kind of threw things in, and it was like, hey, you see this? That's from this past game. Like, they did that a lot, and I just wasn't a massive fan of it. I don't know what it was. I didn't like it.
Understandable. I personally think it fits the aesthetic they're going for, but I can also understand what you're saying of, like, yeah, it does feel kind of empty. Like, if you ride from Hyrule Castle to, you know, Kakariko Village, you might run into 1 or 2 horse stables, but that's about it. And there's really nothing. And it does seem like in Tears of the Kingdom they're fixing that.
Yes. Which is, like that's what I said. I'm like, I hope they fix it to where it does, because it already feels like Hyrule is starting to get a lot more rebuilt.
Right.
And I hope that's something that they, you know, flesh out and just kind of dwell on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And, like, honestly, one of my favorite side quests in Breath of the Wild was Tarrytown, and I hope they do more of that. Where, like, you can build multiple towns. Like, if you want to spend 50 hours grinding the materials to build multiple towns, let me do it. And let me, like, you could see in that last trailer, you can, like, cart NPCs around on a carriage. So, like, I'm assuming that's some kind of what's the name I'm looking for? It's a
gimmick.
Not a gimmick.
Mechanic?
It's no, it's a type of quest. It's a company quest. What?
Oh.
What am I looking for? You know what I'm talking about?
Like, what do you mean? Like you're an escort?
Quest.
Yeah.
Escort quest. That's the word I'm looking for. I want more of that. I like that because in Breath of the Wild, I didn't feel like I had any reason to do side quests aside from, like, Tarrytown or building your own house or, like, some of the bigger ones, but, like, the really small side quests, I didn't feel like I had any reason to do those.
Even
in Xenoblade.
You're the
Some
first
side
person.
quests were shrine quests, so
You're the first person I've ever heard that has said they liked escort quests.
Really?
Really?
Same, because in a majority of games, people, especially speedrunners, hate escort quests.
Escort quests.
Like
Okay.
one of the worst
Because
ones
the
that
NPCs
I've
move slowly.
Yeah, one of the worst escort quests that I've ever played was in Resident Evil 4, where you have to escort Ashley around, and I'm like, keep up! And like she gets picked up by an enemy, and you have to shoot the enemy, and it's like, are you for real? Like, stop getting kidnapped, seriously.
You want to know a terrible one? Superman 64, where you have to escort Lois to
Nobody's
the portal.
played that.
Nobody.
That's why I'm explaining it. You had to escort Lois. And keep in mind, N64 controllers on Superman 64, already terrible. And Lois moves so slow, and if you leave her side, she gets surrounded by enemies, and you have like seconds to get back to her and save her.
You know what escort quest I did like? At the end of Ocarina of Time, when you have to like go with Zelda down the castle, I mean, stressed me out beyond belief as a kid.
I can't wait for
But-
you to play Twilight Princess.
It's gonna be. It was great. But no, like
Twilight
I-
Princess was great, we know.
I think
I wasn't saying
escort quests are cool when done right, and it seems like the AI is a little more upgraded if you can have champions fight alongside you. Like I feel like they'd have to bump up the AI for that. But also, like I was saying, I never felt any reason to do side quests in Breath of the Wild, and like in Xenoblade, yes, 90% of side quests are kind of throwaway, but you do feel like you get some kind of reward out of it, be it using Xenoblade 3 as an example, like maybe you up your colony affinity or you get some kind of special item. Like Breath of the Wild felt like it was missing that. I had no reason to do the side quests other than to just complete them. I want Tears of the Kingdom to be like, hey, you want to build this town? Do these 5 side quests to get the materials to build this town.
You want this really nice weapon that is exclusive to this quest?
Yeah.
Or like an armor set. Like, give me a real reason to want to do side quests and not just neglect all of them for 6 years.
And even then, Breath
So
of...
what?
Sorry.
I actually remembered something I liked about Breath of the Wild that I did not mention in my video. The amiibo.
Yeah.
Because if you use different Legend of Zelda amiibos like Smash Bros, Twilight Princess, Majora's Mask, those, you get like armor sets.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're bringing that back in Tears of the Kingdom.
was
I
about
think
to
it's
ask.
carrying forward.
But the downside is that the amiibo can only be used once a day.
Unless you save before you
can
scan
save
the
scum it.
amiibo, and then you just keep, like, if you don't get the armor set, just load
Yeah,
back
but I'm
before you
talking
scan
about
it.
like each piece. If you get the piece you want.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You could
But also
always
you
time
could just
travel.
go- Yeah, I was gonna say you could just change your switch. Like if you're really dedicated, you could like change it.
Problem is, Nick, I'm too lazy to do
No,
that.
same. It's so much. I always hated time traveling in Animal Crossing because it's so much work.
Yo,
my-
imagine time traveling in Animal Crossing.
I did it on the 3DS, not on my Switch. I mean, I did on my Switch once or twice, just because I was trying to speed
Time
run
travel-
through
forget time
moving
traveling to
villager
Switch.
houses.
Forget time traveling your Switch. Time travel in real life.
Well, not technically impossible, but
You know what? This is now the movie Click. Just fast forward.
no.
Why would you say the movie Click?
I do know
What, did that movie make you cry or something?
No.
it's an Adam Sandler movie, isn't it?
There was an emotional scene. I'm not going to say,
Yeah,
though.
yeah, it is. It is. It is an Adam Sandler movie.
I do know amiibo functionality is coming back in Tears of the Kingdom. We know because you can customize your paraglider. They were very open about that. By the way, what we're talking about with Tears of the Kingdom, for those like Melina who are avoiding certain things, I'm only going to reference stuff that is in any of the, 5 trailers we have? And also some things here and there like, oh, if you scan an amiibo, you can change your paraglider. Like they were very open about that. And I'll mention a little gameplay stuff here and there, but really only stuff that was mentioned can't because Melina's skipping the gameplay, even though it wouldn't really change your experience.
Because I want to experience the gameplay firsthand. Do you not
Imagine-
understand that?
imagine years into
I
Tears
do.
of the Kingdom.
Thank you, Colin.
There's a feature that she's never used, but that was shown in gameplay.
See,
And she's like, "Why'd you guys tell me?"
What's annoying about it is like I want to talk about it so bad because I watched the gameplay previews that the media did, and it looks so phenomenal. And they showed off the different abilities and like what you can do with them, and it just made me want to play the game even more. I'm like, man, I
Link-
want to do that myself. I don't want to watch somebody do
Spoiler
it. I
alert,
want to
Link
do
has
it.
a burnt arm. Well, it looks like a burnt arm.
Well, we know that he got his silly little hand.
So annoying.
Guys,
Silly little hand.
I can't believe it. You spoiled the game for me.
Okay. Did you
Spoiler
know that,
alert,
Did you know that
Ganondorf is
Link
in
is
it.
going to be in the game?
Guys. Spoiler alert.
Did you know it's a Zelda game?
No, I didn't.
Did you know you play as Link?
Well, that,
No, actually,
that-
we don't.
whoa.
We don't. I mean, we do know that, but
We don't know we play as Link.
anyway. Oh, here's
The
something
fact
I
that
didn't
you
like about
almost
Breath of the
finished that
Wild.
sentence.
Here's something I didn't like about Breath of the Wild. Is when you open a chest and your inventory's full, and it does the whole animation and it shows you the weapon, and you're like, oh, that's a really cool weapon, and then bam, your inventory's full.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said on stream, I'm like, you know what would be cool? Is if it gave you the option of like, oh, your inventory's full. Do you want to drop one of your current weapons to get this one? And it shows you your weapons, and then you can drop it from there.
Yeah, there's
I'd
plenty
be like,
of other
man,
games that do that.
I mean, it could be
what
worse.
a great feature. You should add it in Tears of the Kingdom.
I mean, Nick, it could be worse. It could be like the original Resident Evil games where you find an item, you want to pick it up, it takes you to the item menu, says, do you want to pick up this item? And if you want to equip it, you have to go back to the item menu, and then you have to select the item.
Or you could also give me a recipe book so when I make meals, I have a place to go to remember what I need. That would also be great. You want to hear the funny thing? They fixed both those things. And I'm like, thanks. That's cool.
Do you want to know something I was fine with that a lot of people like just didn't like for some reason?
the Korok seeds?
Oh, no. I hated the Korok seeds. I was fine with climbing.
900 of them.
Like, I was fine.
I was fine with climbing.
I was fine
too.
with climbing. I was fine with it being affected during the rain because that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's
I
too
was-
realistic.
I was fine with weapons breaking. That was fine.
Which here's the thing. They've actively fixed both of those things because with Ascend, I mean, not that it helps you climb per se. It helps you go through surfaces. So it kind of helps a little bit. And then with the weapon breaking, like if your weapon's about to break, just fuse it with a rock or something. Like bam. Now you fixed it. Like it'll still break, but it's got renewed durability for a little while.
I can't wait to combine.
So-
Just like
combine a-
Minecraft, you grab an anvil, you grab your nearly broken item.
Exactly.
I can't wait to grab a stick and fuse it with another stick and just be like, "Yo, you see the reach on this thing?"
I can't wait to fuse the Master Sword with an apple.
You
Same.
Colin, you
It's gonna be
basically
great.
made the stick from Ocarina of Time,
No, I just made a bigger stick.
Exactly.
which is what is in Ocarina of Time, a huge stick.
Do you want to know what I
Did you
think?
know-
Okay, do you want to know what I think needs to come back for Tears of the Kingdom?
What?
The Bigoron sword.
No.
You know what needs to come back? Masks.
Dungeons?
True. Dungeons do need to
Dungeon?
come back.
Yeah, okay. I want to go into things that I like and dislike.
Go for it.
So Zelda or Breath of the Wild was my very first open world game. I had never played an
And it's
open
your
world game
favorite
before
game
that.
of all time.
It's my favorite because I actually went in thinking it was going to be the worst game ever and that they ruined Zelda.
You really had low expectations.
I thought, I was like, oh my god, they ruined my childhood. They're going to ruin the game. I can't believe it. We bought it. Got the
You
Switch.
wanted to hate this game, didn't you?
No, I didn't do it going like I'll have really low expectations so that I don't have high hopes. I legitimately was like they made it an open world cuz my view of open world was like Skyrim and whatever else was out at whatever. And I saw those and I was like I don't like how these look. I don't like it. Like, what is this?
Laughs and 2,000 hours in Skyrim.
And because I still am just somebody who loves story-driven games, and like, yeah, it can be not super linear, but I was just used to that formula. But yeah, I went in thinking this game was gonna be awful, and then I played it and I was like, holy crap, this changes my whole view on open world games.
Oh, another thing I liked about Breath of the Wild: health bars on everything, not just bosses.
True.
Health bars on the Lionel, so that way I know, if I'm gonna win or not.
True. I mean, hey, if you can't beat a Lionel, skill issue. Anyway, Melina, continue.
But yes,
Didn't you die?
I can't wait. I can't wait for the highlights. That's gonna be real fun.
yeah. Oh my
Shut up.
gosh. But yeah, completely. So that's why I like look at it and I'm like, yeah, it's literally top game, like, for me, because I went in with such low expectations, like bottom of the barrel, and it blew me away because it was basically just proved me wrong. But yeah, when Colin was going through his list of like things he didn't like, I agreed with a lot of what he said. Dungeons, yeah, I enjoyed it, but after playing through them like 2 or 3 times, I was like, I really would have liked, almost like a traditional dungeon, kind of like in Ocarina with the Forest Temple or the Fire Temple, or even Twilight Princess. Like, I love Arbiter's Grounds.
I think the best part is that Arbiter's Grounds isn't even the best dungeon in that game.
I know, it's not even the best dungeon, but
a lot of people just really like it.
It's just really, I really like, because the spinner made it really cool. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay. Hypothetical question. We know it's not gonna happen, but I just want to ask as a hypothetical. Okay. How would you react if they were like Zelda? If the dungeons in Tears of the Kingdom are if it has them, are the same as dungeons from Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, 2-dimensional. So they're basically side scroll.
I would laugh very hard.
I would laugh very hard. That's what he said.
I hate being the one here who knows so much. I really
so much
do.
about what?
The game.
I hate that I know so much about the game and I can't say anything.
That kind of sucks for you, huh, Nick?
Hey, this is what
No.
happens.
No,
this is
you
what
know,
happens when you have
Would
very
it be
high
considered a
expectations
skill
for a
issue to him?
I don't have high expectations. It's called I watched the demos
Right,
that came
but-
out from the media
Right,
event.
but that has raised
That's
your
not-
that's raised your hopes.
What? It's raised my expectation by seeing the actual game?
You know what, Nick? That's a skill issue on us.
True.
It's not. Yeah, it's a skill issue on you, not
It's a
me.
skill issue on Nick.
All I'm saying
Wait a minute. How?
All
wait a
I'm
minute,
saying-
he's the-
is that there was a media guy who was doing something and unlocked something, and Nintendo, standing over his shoulder, said, "No, don't go in there. You can't go in there." And he was like, "Why?" And they were like, "No." And he was like, "Okay, fine, I won't go in there." And he was like, "But
no.
kind of looks
bad.
like a thing.
No.
Kind of looks like
bad.
a thing." There was some stuff that people weren't allowed to talk about, and I'm like, "No, that's totally fair." But also, like,
And then they talked
thanks.
about
you
it.
kind of
right?
just you kind of. Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there.
All right,
I want to.
cool.
I want to talk about that.
But
IGN.
Melina, how would you react? Melina, how would you react if the dungeons
Goobers.
were 2-dimensional like Zelda 2?
I mean, honestly, same as Colin. I'd laugh.
They pulled a Mario Odyssey is what they did.
Nick, how would you
Mario
react if the
I would.
Nick would cry.
I'd be very upset.
Nick would cry.
I would cry. I would.
Yeah, Nick would cry.
Because I loved the themed dungeons in Skyward Sword. That's the only. Well, no, because I played Ocarina of Time. But that's the most recent experience I have. With it
I'm sorry.
is-
What did you just say?
What?
he
I liked the
basically
dungeons
said-
in Skyward Sword.
He's like, no, but he said themed dungeons, and then he's
They
like,
are
well,
themed
wait, no,
dungeons.
there's Ocarina of Time as well, and I literally was like, they're all
Nick, all of the dungeons are themed.
Okay, you know what? Whatever. You know what I meant.
No, I don't.
No, okay, when I said themed dungeons and then paused, my thing was, because I was going to say Skyward Sword is the only frame of reference I have for 3D dungeons. I was like, oh, wait, no. I've played Ocarina of Time. That's not true. Anyway.
That doesn't help
I
your
liked
point.
the dungeons in Skyward Sword. And I wanted that to be in Tears of the Kingdom because I didn't like in Breath of the Wild that all the dungeons felt the same. All the divine beasts felt the same. Yeah, it's cool because like you get an aesthetic going, but like there was nothing really different about any of the divine beasts other than the Blight Ganons are all different, but not really. They just have different fighting.
The main difference that Fire Blight Ganon, you had to wear like fireproof armor when you're outside.
I think what hurt the divine beasts was the lack of having items, and that's what really kind of took the theming, if that's what you were going for, was the theming out of it.
The fact that like,
you just kind of had to rely.
Dungeon
you just kind of had to rely on runes the entire time.
Right.
So
are you talking about like with previous Zelda games, the dungeons gave you like an item to help you out through your journey?
Yeah.
No, I was saying most of the items that you get in the dungeon are used to beat the boss.
Like, you also have to be able to fight all of those bosses in Breath of the Wild without the Master Sword.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Master Sword is completely optional.
Which I think is what...
And it's not any other Zelda game.
What hurts it for being a open-world game, and that you can go to the end from the start.
I honestly don't think they're going to do that in Tears of the Kingdom. I think it's going to be a lot more... I think it'll still be open to an extent. Like, you can do all these dungeons in whatever order you want. Because, like, in Ocarina of Time... you can do the first 3 dungeons in whatever order you want. You don't have to do them in, like, one order. You can go do the water one or the fire one or, like, the forest one or whatever. But...
wait, say that again?
I think they're going to do something... No, I'm not going back to it. Anyway...
No, say that again.
He meant the shrines.
No, I was right. The first 3 in Ocarina of Time is water, fire, forest. Because there's the Deku Tree.
You said Ocarina of Time. I thought you were talking
and then
about
there's Jabu Jabu, and then there's Death Mountain. Because you do Death Mountain twice. Well, technically, you do them all twice.
Yes.
Because you have to go back in the future. And
You
do
go
the
back
the
to the
forest.
future.
back in the future.
No, back in the future.
Okay.
All right,
That's
Doc
not-
Brown,
that's
Marty
not-
McFly
that's not
is
how
now
I-
canon.
That's not how I
Doc-
played Ocarina of Time, but all right.
Doc Brown and Marty
How'd you play
McFly are now
Ocarina of
canon
Time?
in the Zelda
so
universe.
In Child Link, I did the Great Deku Tree because that's the first one you do.
Well, no, you
'Cause
have to
that's
do the Great
forest
Deku Tree
the first
first.
forest temple. Then I did Death Mountain because that's where you have to go after that.
I was
Because the
about to be
game
like, isn't
points
that,
you to
don't
Death
you
Mountain, and then
isn't
after
there like
Death
a
Mountain,
specific order to
you
do
then
the
go
dungeons?
to Great Jabu Jabu, and then you.
I didn't think there was an order. I
No,
don't
there is.
remember
There's
doing
an order.
it in that
It's a
It is
specific
in order.
Because literally, Impa points you to Death Mountain and is like, you need to go there.
I don't remember doing them in order.
Because you have
You're
to
literally
finish.
given a letter to pass the guard.
Yeah, because no, you have to finish Jabu Jabu last because that's when you get everything with like Ruto, and then that's how it triggers the sequence where you have to go forward in time.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Like,
anyway,
in the
let's get
game's
back on
code,
topic.
That's the
Anyway, as I was saying, there's a way to have dungeons where you can have a certain number of dungeons that you can do in any order. Like, you can do the Divine Beasts in any order. And you could arguably still put specific items in there that help you kill the boss. It would be a little complicated. But
Okay,
I think would make the game more fun.
raise a hands. Who likes going for the Master Sword first before going to the Divine Beast?
Me, because I can glitch it.
Alex, how are we gonna raise our hands?
Well,
Raise your.
you just say
just
yay or
sucks to
nay.
suck.
Just. I don't
Imagine
know.
not having your
I don't know.
camera on.
Calling skill issue, I guess.
Well,
Oh, wait. I know how we can do it.
No.
Oh God.
Oh, true.
yeah. Anyway, so
Was that a yes, Melina?
Ask
You
the
like
question
No,
again?
I don't.
raise your hands or do a digital clap. If you like going for the Master Sword first before going to the Divine Beast.
That I didn't do.
I did it on my Master Mode run, but only because I needed a good weapon that was
Um,
consistently with me.
I like using the Master Sword to fight bosses. So
Yeah, I didn't do that. Okay, now here's a question. What order did you guys do the Divine Beasts on your first run through?
Okay, on the
Mifa.
first run through?
Yeah, because
I don't remember the names of the actual divine beasts themselves. I'm just gonna name the character
it's
That works.
of the
Yeah.
champion. I did Mifa, then I did Urbosa, then Rivali, then Daruk.
I think I did Rivali, Mifa, Daruk, Urbosa. And I usually always go for Mifa and Rivali first because those are the two abilities I use the most.
It's weird because what I did was Mifa. What is the Daruk? That's right, because Daruk's protection is now ready to roll. Mifa, Daruk, Rivali, and then Urbosa. And I thought everybody did Mifa first, and then I was looking at it, and I was like, no, everybody did Rivali first.
Yeah, I did Rivali first.
And I was
did
like,
Rivali's
Rivali,
scale
Mifa,
makes
Daruk,
traversing so
and
much
Urbosa.
easier.
I did Mifa first. So
I think it's so easy to do Varuda first because you're already near there when you have to go to Kakariko Village.
Right.
So it's like it's just
I'd also argue
I didn't notice.
Varuta and Va Meadow are the two easiest divine beasts.
they are. I would
Like-
say Meadow's easier than Ruta though.
Meadow was so easy. I did it on stream in 20 minutes,
Yeah.
including the boss fight, and I died like twice. It's really easy.
Says
And granted,
it's easy,
I've
dies
done it-
twice. Sorry.
Okay, I'd like to see you do it 3 hearts, Melina.
I have.
Okay. Anyway,
I've never done it because for me it was defeat the bosses, get the gear that I like, and then be done.
understandable.
And forget the Kurok seeds. Let them hide forever.
All right, you know what? Let's talk about that. Korok seeds. Yay or nay?
Hated them.
Why was that like 70% of the game?
I'm going to be honest. I think it's cool that they're there. They're cool little things to find. Did not like that it was linked to expanding my inventory. I never got max inventory because of it.
Oh,
that
I-
really
yeah.
bothered me.
I
It's
don't
over
like that it's for
900. That's
expanding-
why I never completed it.
Yeah, I don't like
But
that
all
it's for
900 do
inventory.
not, like, you hit a max on your inventory. So you don't even need to collect all 900 to max out your inventory. That's the problem.
I just think having it be like, what was it? It was main story is like 10%, all shrines is like 5%, and then side quests are like also 5%, and then Koroks are literally like 70 to 80% of the game,
Yeah.
which I think
Lame.
is really dumb. Like,
Well, do I have heartbreaking news for you?
they're back.
They're back.
They're back. we don't know if they're linked to inventory expansion
They better not
or
be.
anything. But we did see someone in the gameplay pick up a rock and a Korok is there and he's like, "Oh yeah, haha, you found me." And he gives you a Korok seed. Like it's the exact same thing. We don't know what we do with them. But we know they're back. So, I'm just saying. If you tied the Korok seeds to something completely different, like tie them to a side quest of like, oh, you want to rebuild Korok Forest or something? Like, use the Korok seeds.
Somebody
Just don't-
burned down the Lost Woods.
Don't
Korok
link it to
seeds are
inventory
back.
progression. That was the big issue, was linking it to inventory expansion.
Fish out the Kurok seeds. Just light a match and burn down the Lost Woods.
No.
Oh, there you go. 2 more things I didn't like about Breath of the Wild. No fishing, you can't pet dogs.
The dog, no, petting dogs.
True.
Yeah, it has to
True.
be, dude.
If Tears of the Kingdom, you can't pet dogs, bad game.
It's automatically
Okay.
1 star.
Okay. So no, literally, like that's how you can tell if a game is good. If it has a fishing mechanic or you can pet a dog, the game is good. But
I
if it
can't-
doesn't
I
have,
can't
if
imagine
it
they don't
doesn't
add
have
both of
a
those
fishing
things to this game.
mechanic, or you can't pet or pick up a dog, it's a bad game.
Like good example of a good game that has pets and fishing is Okami.
Persona 5.
Because you are the
no,
dog.
But a good game, another good game in the same franchise has the exact same mechanics that I listed, where you can pick up a dog and you can fish. Twilight Princess,
True.
Yeah, exactly.
you can pick up the dogs.
Oh my god, I remember that when you picked up the dog and I was like, dude, the first time I played Twilight Princess and I picked up the dog, I swear, and my dad can attest to this, he literally walked down and I was like,
I can't believe one of the preview people did not try to find a dog and see if they could pet it.
dude, clearly
I
wasn't on
can't
their
believe
mind.
they didn't.
Those are
I mean,
dog-hating
from what
people,
I heard,
then.
from what I heard, like reading and watching stuff, is Nintendo was very like hover over your shoulder while you're playing this demo. They were like, all right, go fight those enemies. Now get to the sky. Then go from this sky island to that sky island. And that's your objective in 50 minutes. And they're like, okay.
In
I don't want to do that. I want to run around for like free roam. No, sorry. You have to do that.
In Link's Awakening, you get a dog, which is a chain chomp,
You also get a chicken.
and it fights enemies for you.
Pedro?
Rest in peace, Pablo.
Oh, Pablo.
And you, while that dog kills enemies for you, it allows you access to the second dungeon.
That's
But
true.
then you have to return to the owner. But you know why I say that?
it
No,
chain
you're
chomp?
irresponsible. You let your dog get away.
Does a chain
Why?
chomp even count as a dog?
Yes. Because it barks and it's on a chain.
But
And it's got teeth. He goes bark, bark.
it doesn't have a
It's
tail.
in Link's Awakening.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
a chain
The chain
chomp.
is the tail.
No, the chain is the leash.
It's a double purpose. Anyway, Zelda.
It's
Zoldo,
a wrecking ball.
Zorldo.
It's a wrecking ball with teeth.
I came in
Chain
like
chomp is a wrecking ball with teeth.
Oh my gosh, I had the same
Yo,
thought.
wait. If they bring fishing to Tears of the Kingdom, do you know what that means they can also bring back?
What?
Underwater exploration?
No. The Hylian
A z-
Loach.
The what?
Clearly, you didn't 100% Ocarina of Time or Twilight
No, of
Princess
course
because
not.
you didn't play Twilight Princess. But the Hylian Loach is like the most like legendary fish in Hyrule.
Lame.
Listen. I just want to
That
be able
isn't
to
like-
fish.
that
'cause,
isn't like the one
That's
water
a good way to
spirit from
get food,
Wind Waker.
Nintendo. Let me fish for fish. Fish.
You know what you get for the Hylian Loach in Ocarina of Time? 50 rupees. That's it.
Epic.
Do you want to know what you get for it in Twilight Princess? Nothing.
Nice.
So
But do
what's
you want
the
to know?
point?
But no. But do you want to know how you can get the Hylian Loach in Twilight Princess? You have to do like 40 stages of roll goal, which is literally the worst thing about Twilight Princess.
Oh god.
Lame.
Anyone else have anything about Breath of the Wild that we did like, don't like,
Oh.
absolutely despise?
Okay, wait. I do want to
Link's
point
hairstyle.
out.
Leave Link's hairstyle alone. It works.
Actually, technically, and I'm sure it's in some other outfits, but I noticed this because I was recently playing it, and I put on the, oh my gosh, what's it called? The Guardian outfit, and
Oh yeah,
I zoomed in and I
Guardian-
was like, his hair is all the way down. He doesn't have a hair
Yeah,
tie on.
yeah,
and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah. You want to... I got really mad with the Zelda community because when that first Tears of the Kingdom trailer came out, where you could see like his long hair, everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, it's a different Link, guys, because he got long hair."
It's
I was like,
the
or
sa-
walk over to Breath of the Wild, equip like 4 different helmets, and he just takes his ponytail out, and it's long hair.
That's
You've
literally.
clearly never seen hair before.
Or you clearly haven't seen a girl who wears a hat that doesn't have like the thing and they have to take off their ponytail.
Yeah.
Like seriously?
I'm very interested to see how hair works though, because
It grows.
I've seen in game gameplay he's
Smart
not
ass.
wearing any sort of helmet and his hair is down or it's in the ponytail without being prompted by like some kind of helmet or something on his head. So I wonder if there's going to be a setting that's like long hair, ponytail. Like the Hylian hood, like could you have the Hylian hood up or down
Yeah.
based
guess.
on how you want it? I think that would be great if they gave you that choice. Just saying. Also,
Customization.
I can't
Well,
say anything.
well, here's the thing. I feel like the customization tool will open up doors to I don't even know. I don't
Some
know.
inventory, man.
Nintendo's picky about customization.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Like,
I think it's fine. I think they're gonna let you dye your clothes again.
I mean, yeah,
They
that's
should at
that's
the
obviously
bare
that's-
minimum.
That's obviously going to still be there. The dyeing.
I can't.
But no. What I wanted to point out was I recently saw a short about whistle fishing. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
what is this? So I read it, and it was like, if you see a flock
Oh,
of
that.
seagulls over the sea, go out there using crayonuses, and my brain just died there. And then go by the fish, face the beach, and whistle. They will go towards the beach, and then they will like basically hop onto the beach, and then you can pick them all up. And I was like, what? I never knew this.
Imagine,
it's crazy.
Imagine that worked in real life. I'd be the
Imagine.
worst fisherman ever because I can't whistle at all.
Have you seen the clips where people are stasising like a platform and putting the master cycle on it and then doing like a backflip, jumping off and sniping 3 guardians? It's insane. Japanese players for Breath of the Wild have so much more talent than I will ever have, because every clip I see is in Japanese.
Dude,
And I'm like, you know what? Good for you guys.
Japanese players, they're always more skilled than
true.
American players with a
So
lot
true.
of stuff. That's why they had the original Super Mario Brothers 2.
Because they thought Americans were stupid, which is true
Well,
to a certain extent.
I don't think I think it has less to do with stupidity and more with difficulty, because the Super Mario Bros. 2 is a difficult game. Anyone could agree with that.
Yeah.
Unless you're a speedrunner, then I don't know what you're on, but give me some and get out of my house.
I mean, even
I've seen
like Zelda
the
releases for
inventory
Japan
menu
and then in the US
Tears
were
of the
slightly different. Like
Kingdom.
for Majora's Mask, I know in the
and
Great
it
Bay
looks
area,
so
the platform you have to
good.
jump on for where the marine biologist guy is, whatever, the water level is lower in the Japanese release, and you had
Oh,
to
how about-
you had to jump perfectly with the Zora Link and everything. But in the American version, the water line is right there. You can climb up on the platform.
Hey, want to have an idea that none of us will ever be able to do? A swordless gameplay of Tears of the Kingdom. No swords.
No, just
Like
use
with
branches.
the original Legend of Zelda, people were actually able to make it again without the sword.
People are able to do that in A Link to the Past too.
And
Yeah,
Breath of the
but-
Wild. Have you not seen any of Point Crow's videos? He literally made like 4 videos on it.
I'll be honest, Nick, I have not heard of him until the whole
He
controversy
beat
came out.
Ganon with a farming hoe. And the title of the video is I beat Ganon with your mom. Haha, get it? It's funny.
He also did it.
And
Did
And
he
he did
do
Yeah,
another
I-
one.
Did he do it
where he's
blindfolded
got, like,
too? He did it
sticks.
blindfolded too, I think.
But still, I have not heard of him until like the whole controversy came out.
He's done
With
beating
those-
Breath of the Wild.
He's done a lot of challenges.
Chat controlled. Chat tries to kill me.
Wait,
Runes
Didn't
only.
we have-
Bombs only. Shields only. Blindfolded. Branches only. Arrows only. Like, he's any way you could think of beating Breath of the Wild, he's probably done it.
didn't we do?
Okay, here's one he hasn't done. AI controlled.
No, he's done that.
Nah, Twitch chat, technically, if you want to get technical.
No, when I say AI controlled, I mean the game plays itself.
Oh, that's not content, though. So, of course, he hasn't done it.
Anyway,
That's just called
didn't
a
we
Taz.
have? Didn't we have like a topic in a like previous episode where we referenced something from Point Crow?
We did.
We did. We talked about Nintendo striking him down.
Before that,
We did.
I don't remember.
I think one of us did his meme where it's like, "Do you get collector's anxiety?"
Do you get collector's anxiety in large open world games? Yes. Thank you. I do. Actually.
I thought it was about the potential for the cycle being broken.
Oh, yeah. that was Point
I
Crow.
brought that up. That's right.
Yeah.
For Tears of the Kingdom being like a prequel to Skyward Sword, but
Yeah.
I remember
Sequel
I
to
brought
Breath of
that
the
up because I
Wild?
was like, okay, guys, I remember I saw a video of Point Girls and I was like, but yeah, so.
Also, I hate to be that guy, but Zelda community, we've made a grave mistake. The dragons on the Tears of the Kingdom logo are actually not Ouroboros.
Yeah.
So that does not count as a Nintendo game with Ouroboros in it.
Yep.
Those are
Yeah,
just dragons.
An Ouroboros is just one dragon.
Yeah. An Ouroboros is one dragon eating its own tail. I should know. I played Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
You also
You know it'd be
watched Full
something
Metal
we would like-
Alchemist Brotherhood.
There were Ouroboros in FMA? B? Really?
Literally all of the
Are you
homunc-
being serious or are you joking?
Nick.
Oh
that was
my
the mark.
god, that's
Nick.
literally their
That
mark.
was the marker for all of the homunculi.
I see it now.
I have not seen it.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I have
Now that I
not
think
seen Full
about it, I
Metal
see it.
Alchemist, so
Nick,
I know nothing.
The fact that my dad even knows that and you don't.
Okay, you have to have context. I didn't know what an Ouroboros was
What?
when I watched Full Metal Alchemist.
They
okay?
said what it was.
If they did, I forgot. Anyway,
All right, something to look forward to in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which I'll probably not watch.
Zelda.
One thing to bring
Zorlo.
back, one thing they should bring, and I'm expecting a lot of heads nodding. Confirmed Link and Zelda couple.
Amen. Yes. Please.
That's what we all want. That's what we want to see.
Bro, you see the way in the trailer she blushes when whatever that mystery character says Link's name, bro. She's down bad. That's all I can say. They're
And
in
I
love,
see
Your
that,
Honor.
so
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, with any Zelda game, I could care less about relationships.
True.
Wow, man.
Because I just
Man.
want to know the story. Like, yeah, it's part of the story, I
True.
guess, but it's like,
It's
I just
relevant
want
to
to
the
know
story.
if the hero's gonna, like, yeah, if she's fine, cool, great. If he gets to if I get to defeat the final boss, if I get there, how do I get there? What happens to who? Blah, blah, blah.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought I knew how this game was gonna start, and now I don't. Because I was like, oh, well, we're gonna start off like there's gonna be an escort quest where we're going with Zelda underground, and then we find Ganondorf, and we do the whole thing. And now the Nintendo website says Link starts his journey in the sky, and I'm like, oh man, so we're just starting in the sky.
Oh my god, we
Okay.
get flashbacks. Oh
Okay.
god, wait,
Dude,
that'd
if
be
they do
horrible.
memories
Like,
again, I'm gonna lose my mind.
how about, what if Tears of the Kingdom starts off like this? You do a fight with Ganondorf, but you have to lose. It's one of those boss battles that
Forced
you
loss?
have to lose to progress.
Yeah.
That's what I've.
It's
That's what I've been
impossible
saying.
to win.
Yeah.
I feel
Would
like
really be a good setup for the final boss too.
Zelda game could use something like that.
That was my thought though. Is like, you have these cutscenes. Like you start off, and it's just a long cutscene, and you intersplice some gameplay. Like something I really enjoyed, and this is like a spoiler for the Xenoblade DLC. Is there's sequences where you're walking while there's dialogue going on,
I love that. That happens in
and
Dead
you can't
Space.
fight or
That was such a
openly
random thing to
explore.
bring up.
But I think Tears of the Kingdom could do something like that, where like you're going through the story, but you're involved, like you're interacting with it because you have to move Link forward. You can't just stand there and watch it happen. I really enjoy it, and I think you have something like that. Like they're going through the caves, you're trying to figure out what are we doing because you can't. I know the game's already done, and my pleas to Nintendo will be too late at this point because it's 2 days from coming out. But I really don't want them to do this whole, all right, Link wakes up in the sky, he's got a mystery arm, all right, go play, figure it out. And I'm like, but I don't want that. Like,
We
it was
want-
kind
we
of cool
want
for Breath of the Wild because he
context.
lost his memory, but don't do that again. Like,
We
the
want
memories
context.
were cool, but I want a real story, please. Like, there wasn't much of a story in Breath of the Wild in the current day. Like, yes, there was a story, but it was all optional in the past. And I think, like, that's cool, but I want more of an actual, like, linear story that I progress through. And there are ways to do it and keep the open world. So I guess we'll find out if they do it or
find
not.
it so ironic that you say that, though, because there's a lot of people that were like, they saw the open world and they're like, yes, finally, like, I've been kind of sick of the linear stuff. And now a lot of those people are like, it was too open, I want more linear. I'm like,
Can
bro,
I have the linear
you
back?
asked for open world
For
and
the-
non-linear, and now you want it back?
Okay,
Pick
for the
one!
longest time,
People are indecisive.
For the longest-
They want one thing, they want the other thing back, and then they complain about wanting the new thing back.
For the longest time, I wanted there not to be a sequel to Breath of the Wild, just because I wanted Breath of the Wild to be its own thing and be unique to be open world,
But then it made money.
and then go back. Yeah, and then kind of go back to the linear style for it to be just, its own thing. But then, made too much money. They had way too many ideas. So now we're going to make second game.
But I think this could be both. I think this could give us the linear story, and it doesn't even have to be like linear. It just has to be a story.
Yeah.
Like the story of Breath of the Wild is, hey, you met this champion. They're gonna get you to the Divine Beast. All right, cool. Now you're never gonna talk to him again. Like they're kind of inconsequential. Like, yeah, the Divine Beasts do half damage on Calamity Ganon if you get them all, but the champion descendants don't really do anything. They have no meaning. They have no influence after you finish the Divine Beast quest. They don't come help you fight Ganon. They don't show up at Hyrule Castle with you. And I know they did that because you don't have to do them all. And it's like, okay, that's cool. And it seems like the champion descendants take a little bit bigger role in this game from what we've seen in the trailers. And I hope they are going in a more linear direction because, one, I don't think you can bring back Ganondorf and destroy the Master Sword and have Zelda go somewhere and Link go somewhere and not have a linear story. There's no way you can do all that and just have it be memories. You gotta have a through line somewhere. You can't just do memories again, and I don't want them to.
Like it can.
Please don't.
Yeah, it can be open world where there's certain sections that have linear where it's like restricted to that way you have to go through a linear thing to unlock it or whatever. There's tons of open world games that do that.
Right. Absolutely. Like
it was Breath of the Wild was fun. I can see how a lot of people were like, yeah, it's too open.
Yeah, it really was too open. They could have brought it in a little bit, and it seems like that's what they're doing. So I still can't say anything. Not that I know anything about the story. Preview people were not allowed to see the story at all. They were
No story for
very
you.
much kept out of that.
Viewers, you
Nintendo's-
see nothing.
Nintendo is very well. It's not even like viewers. It's like the media people didn't get to see anything. They were very like they kind of just got dropped into a save file and said, "All right, go have fun, but do what we tell you to do." So don't really have fun.
Game developers, you get to play everything.
Yeah, you get to make the game. Isn't that the fun part? What's great is if Tears of the Kingdom is done, it's been done since the gameplay demonstration as per AG Aonuma. They're already working on the next Zelda game. Like, they don't just stop. They're like, oh, well, we're done. Guess we're done. They're just working on whatever's next, be it DLC for Tears of the Kingdom or the next Zelda game. Like, they're like, all right, we finished. All right, moving on to the next one. Like, we'll still do bug fixes and stuff if we need to for Tears of the Kingdom. Because, like, you can only, like, yes, you can QA test it, but there's obviously going to be stuff that pops up when you put it in the hands of, like, 20 million people. Someone's going to find something.
Bug fixes for Tears of the Kingdom, but no bug fixes for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that's not Nintendo's fault. That's the Pokemon Company's fault.
That isn't it Game Freak or Pokemon company?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a Pokemon guy. I'm not a Pokemon. I'm a Poke-nun. So, anyone else have anything on Breath of the Wild before I move into like our last little topic here about Tears of the Kingdom? Because we get to rag on IGN and how dumb IGN is.
Let's do it. Let's go.
All right. So, if you missed, I think it was 2 or 3 episodes ago, we reacted to IGN's top 10 Zelda game list, and we concluded that their list was dumb and stupid. And if you want to see the list, go watch it. Number 10 will shock you. Now, IGN has gotten themselves in a little bit of trouble again, because IGN is one of like the bigger, I wouldn't say the biggest, maybe, but they're one of the bigger media outlets that got to go play Tears of the Kingdom. And of course, the media had to sign NDAs. Everyone who was there had to sign NDAs. There's certain things you're allowed to talk about. There's certain things you're not allowed to talk about. Like, if you watch the gameplay, that was recorded, there's a whole new ability that they're actually contractually not allowed to talk about. Like, you can see it in the gameplay and be like, oh, what's that? And they're like, well, actually, I can't tell you. I'm contractually obligated to not tell you. But I'll kind of, like, someone was the first one to be like, well, here's actually what it is. Let me tell you. I'll break NDA. Guess who it was? It was IGN. Now,
Of course they did.
Here's where they get in a little bit of a snafu. Is, okay, yeah, sure, talk about that ability. Okay, whatever. So one thing they weren't allowed to record is, if anybody remembers, the key items page from Breath of the Wild that had, like, your paraglider, the Sheikah Slate, the champion abilities, travel medallion, horse armor and stuff. They weren't allowed to show any of that because the key items you have at the point they were in the game are spoilers, obviously. And I won't say them. I'll just say that they leaked them. I know what they are, but for sake of people listening, I won't. But they leaked some pretty big stuff, and the implications from that are very big, and I know why Nintendo did not want them out
Question.
there. Because they're definitely things you're supposed to discover as you go.
Question.
Yes.
Were these items like almost mid to late game stuff?
No.
Okay.
It's early game stuff.
Okay.
Like, you would get it in the tutorial area, or maybe even in, like, the first dungeon, whatever this game's equivalent of dungeons are. But it's still, like the paraglider has a completely different description and tells you how you get it. And it's like, oh, well, we weren't supposed to know that yet.
Right.
Like, once you have the paraglider, obviously it's not a spoiler because you got it. But before getting it, like, oh, we weren't supposed to know that. There's an item that you get that is that has a very specific name.
Right.
And it's like, oh, we aren't supposed to know that that's in the game yet.
Gotcha.
And it's like, IGN, are you for real? Like,
For real?
You got all this
real?
gameplay that you could show. All this great stuff you could show, and you choose to talk about the, like, 3 things that you're not allowed to talk about.
What are the repercussions?
And there was
this is
gameplay
karma
that they
for that list.
recorded. There's gameplay that they recorded that they showed that they weren't allowed to show. And it's like, why? Are you doing it for the clout? Did you just not know you were supposed to show it? Did they not clearly explain it? Like, their video got copyright struck and taken down.
Good. I mean,
Because Nintendo was like, get that off the internet. People aren't supposed to know.
is IGN
Too late.
becoming the new 4chan?
Maybe.
No,
I do want to mention
because think with 4chan, it's not like well, with IGN, it's a news outlet. 4chan
Right, they're a legit
4chan is
source.
not a news outlet.
No, I
4chan
know.
is like Reddit but more anonymous.
4chan is 4chan. Don't compare it to anything. It's 4chan.
4chan, no source.
I do want to mention not Kotaku crying about not getting invited to the media event after giving people a step-by-step guide on how to pirate Metroid Dread.
Yup.
Like, no.
That
You
they
earned that blacklist.
Yeah, they got incredibly blacklisted by Nintendo.
Wow.
And they were like,
And then they're all like, man, we wish we could inform our millions of readers. And it's like, I'll just go read the IGN or whatever, like, IGN put out, or Nintendo Life, or Game Explain, or any of the other dozens of people who got to go. Like, I'm not hanging my hat up on Kotaku. Of all places.
yeah.
Anyways,
Man.
do we know repercussions for IGN?
No.
Nintendo's about to walk up and just break their building in half like Melina did to her
They
DS.
ain't getting blacklisted.
Thank you.
There it is.
Is that a quota
Every episode.
now? Oh my god.
No, I haven't done it in like 2 episodes, and I'm
You
really
really
mad.
haven't.
Don't mention it.
I'll be honest, I did not hear what Colin said.
He talked about Melina ripping her 3DS in half, or her DS in half,
Oh.
which she mentioned on the first episode. And now we make
That's
a
so
point to bring
funny.
it up every episode.
Cause
So-
it's funny. Like,
I'm making that a shirt.
just how do you do that? Just
No, it's got to be the flex tape reference where it's like, I ripped this DS in half.
And
We also
repaired
have
it
to
with
make-
only flex tape.
We also have to make OLED gang merch. Like, it's right there. Just saying.
True.
But no, to answer your question, we do not know of any repercussions right now. Obviously, there's grounds for like a lawsuit because they technically broke NDA and they could be sued over it. Is Nintendo going to do it?
Probably not.
Maybe. But they also might think copyright striking the video is enough and call it a day. Now,
You know what? Speaking of back to merch real quick. Perfect merch idea for Melina. Virtual Boy, the best console ever, because she thinks that.
I don't think
Melina?
that.
You said it in a video, so.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
did she say
ranking-
it sarcastically?
I don't know,
I
but
probably
she,
said it sarcastically because Alex said it
and
sarcastically.
It was in the ranking Nintendo consoles video.
I'll have to go back and listen to it.
It was at the
'Cause it-
end. So Melina
Oh, if
was
it was at
just-
the
Oh,
end, then
I
it
know
was
what you're
definitely
talking
a
about.
joke.
I mean, it remains to be seen if IGN gets invited back to another Nintendo demo event.
No.
If they don't, that's why. If they get now Nintendo might not blacklist IGN because it's IGN. Kotaku's like, yeah, we don't really care about Kotaku. Nobody cares about Kotaku. IGN is a different story because like they're a pretty big outlet.
That's the thing. They should know better.
Yeah, they should know better. And maybe it's not
don't.
IGN as a whole. It might have been like one person
Which they should
who
fire.
violated NDA, and then that person gets fired. And it's like, sorry, Nintendo, our employee screwed up. We fired it and fixed the problem. So I guess we'll find out when the next big Nintendo, like if Pikmin 4 comes around and IGN doesn't get invited, like, oh man, shouldn't have leaked that thing about Tears of the Kingdom. So wrapping up here, unless anyone has anything like grand to add, wrapping up, I want everyone to go around and say, what is your biggest hope for Tears of the Kingdom? It can be a gameplay feature. It can literally be anything. What is like the one thing that you want in Tears of the Kingdom? And we'll know 2 days from now.
That's true.
Kind of,
For it to be-
if we get it.
for it to become your number one game. That's all I
Me?
can say. Yes.
Oh, if it lives up to
That's
the
all I
hype,
wanna
it'll
see.
long surpass Breath of the Wild. Because it literally sounds like Breath of the Wild, but more and better. So, Melina and/or Colin, I pass it off to you. I'll go last.
Well, I'll just say I'm a story gamer, so the story better live it up. That's all I'm saying. If it's a bad story,
We're gonna have an issue.
I'm gonna lose it. It better.
Plot twist, there is no
That's
story.
the
You
thing
just
is,
play.
like, I'm so like I love the timeline and the story and everything. So it better go in and do it right. Okay, that's it.
Plot twist, Melina, there is no story. You just play. I
It's
could just see
actually even more open than Breath of the Wild. They took criticism and went in the opposite direction. They were like, "Oh,
I could
you
just
wanted a little
picture
more linear?" Nah.
I could
No
just
story
picture
at all.
Melina. If there is no story in Tears of the Kingdom, Melina just crumbles her Tears of the Kingdom OLED, chucks
Yo,
it out
she
the window.
rips her Switch in half.
No, I'm not upgrading this joke.
But Melina, you got to do it for the content.
If I do for the content, I'll do with my old Switch, but I don't know if I'm gonna be strong enough for that. I gotta really rage quit. I gotta be
Melina,
like
Nah,
She-Hulk,
you break
bro.
it on your knee like a board. You just bam.
Yeah, but I didn't do that with my DS. I just like did it with my hands, you know.
Well, yeah, it's easy to break a DS with your hands.
But that's just. I just expect Melina to break her Switch for a game she spent like what $350 for on a console for,
Yeah.
and $70 for the game, and her biggest hype completely down the drain.
Gone. Reduced to atoms. All right, Colin. What about you? What do you want from Tears of the Kingdom? One thing.
Let me pet the dog.
I knew it. I literally in my head I was like, he's gonna say like doggo or something, and then he says it.
Totally valid, TBH. Honestly.
I can't think of
Let me
anything
pet the
big.
dog.
For me, I can't think of anything big. So all I thought was just making Nick's #1 game.
Make my 6-month fast from Chick-fil-A worth it. That's all I
Give
mean, that's not all I
us
want. I
Let
have a
him
different
pet
one.
the dog.
Nintendo.
Please, I can't do it in real life. Let me do it in the
Let
game.
him pet the
Nintendo,
dog.
we need to pet the dogs. Don't give us a rough time.
All right.
Get out.
That's our cue.
My thing.
Dog.
Oh wait, that's right, your thing.
My thing, and I came up with this yesterday,
Oh no.
and this might be I'm going to go way out there and just absolutely set myself up for disappointment. But I could also see it happening. So, Ganondorf has a katana, right? In the art. He has a katana. Link has the Master Sword. Nintendo, I just want one really cool animated fight scene between Link and Ganondorf.
Yo, I want it.
And it's like
Oh.
super cool and epic, and the Master Sword is glowing, and maybe it's the fixed Master Sword.
oh my god, a QTE.
I just wanna
a
see
QTE. Can we have a QTE?
Dude, could you imagine? That would be so cool.
Okay, I'm gonna give myself one that is not gonna happen, but I just want to see it happen. I just want to imagine it. Link dual wielding.
He goes Kirito
mean, hey.
mode. He goes Super Saiyan. Oh wait, he already
Here's
is.
the thing. Here's what's really interesting is
Don't
in
bring
all
up
the
SAO.
fight
Nick
scenes-
Nick talks about how trash it is with Jackson.
It is pretty bad though.
don't hate me, I'm right.
Yeah.
I
why,
love
Anyway.
SAO.
why
so
are you booing him? He's right. Like
Let him cook.
I'm booing it because I love SAO.
No, that's okay.
You can
it's
like
okay
it.
if you like it. I don't.
exactly.
Actually, it's a lot more nuanced than that, but we don't have time to get into it.
Not even the right.
What's
channel
really
for it.
interesting is any animated fight scene with Link in Breath of the Wild, he only uses the sword. Even though he might actually have like whatever shield you have equipped on your back, never pulls out the shield.
Badass.
Never
I
uses
don't need
it. And I'm like, you know
anything
what? Good
but
for you,
my
buddy.
sword.
Give Link some sword skills.
He has sword skills.
I'm talking like exotic sword skills.
So Alex
Exotic.
wants to turn Tears of the Kingdom into Sword Art Online.
Exotic?
No, I just
Is
want
what
to
you're
see.
saying.
No, I just want to see Link become a badass.
He is a badass. What are you talking about? Dude,
I'm
Link,
talking anime badass.
just from the trailers, he's a badass. Like, man gets his entire right arm cooked, and in a moment of like,
Someone
could
said,
be
"Yo,
worrying about his
Somebody
cooked
let this
arm,
dude cook.
drops the Master
he
Sword
burns his
to
arm.
go and save Zelda. Dude,
Look,
he's
Let him
so
in the kitchen
badass.
anymore.
Look, you let Link cook. Mistake.
Let
right
him
there.
cook.
That was a mistake.
Maybe that's
though.
another
He
ability
burned
with his arm.
His arm.
Is he can cook with his arm.
He in the kitchen no
Oh,
more.
wait a minute. That's how he. Okay, I've discovered how his arm ended up like that. You let him cook. He burned it. He put it directly in cold water, and it
Oh,
blistered
true.
and literally destroyed it
Sounds
beyond
about right.
recognition.
But yeah, that's my one thing is I want one really epic fight scene or like have some kind of showdown going into the final boss where Link dramatically takes out the new Master Sword or whatever.
Okay, that's
Kinda
definitely
like
gonna
in
happen.
Breath of the Wild where he's standing and he like stares down Calamity Ganon and takes out the Master Sword and then it glows. Like that is so cool. It gets me like hyped every single time. And I want something like that.
It glows golden.
Give us a 1v1 Link and Ganondorf fight. That's what I want. Zelda can be there because, like, of course she has to be there to like do the whole ceiling thing.
So you want a
Just
Twilight
don't have her
Princess fight?
assist us.
No, I don't know. I don't want Zelda there. I want a straight up what happens in Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. I want
That's what
Link
I just
to
said. I just said that.
absolutely just yeet Ganon.
I just. Oh, okay. Wait. The Wind Waker ending. That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick, you should play those games at some point.
Yeah, I should.
Yeah.
I almost said a line that
I should
would have been
continue
sounded
those
really bad
games.
out of context.
yeah.
Maybe they'll bring them to Switch after Tears of the Kingdom is out.
Nah, they ain't bringing them
no,
to Switch.
we've already told you that's.
They're not bringing it to Switch.
I'm telling you, they're gonna report them as 4K 60 FPS on the next
They're
console. That's
already
why they're on the
60
Switch.
HD.
FPS.
They've already
Okay,
remade them as HD.
no. Here's
Hold
the
on,
thing: they
the Switch
can't sell them
cannot do
again.
4K.
No, the Switch now can't. We don't know what the next Switch can do. You're jumping. Alex, we went over this on our building a Switch too. We're going from 2015 hardware to 2021 at the bare minimum. if they do the same kind of jump that they did for Switch. 2021 Switch might be able to handle maybe not 4K, but 60 FPS. I'm just saying they're gonna do something extra to these ports.
And before Switch 2 is a
make
potato.
them
make us-
justifiable.
Nintendo's gonna try to blind its audience.
They have to justify the Switch. They have to justify the Twilight Princess and Wind Waker ports being $60 each,
I think
because they won't sell them together and they won't sell them for $30.
I think it should just be a potato with a really
potato
like.
flew around my room.
Here's their
All right, guys,
justification.
thanks for listening.
No,
to the
I think
podcast.
it should
If
be
you
a
wanna-
potato with a really bad picture of Zelda drawn on it, and then you take the Joy-Cons and you just mash them into the potato, and then you got the Switch 2.
It's Potelda.
Yeah. Never say that
All right,
again.
guys, thanks for watching this episode of the Joystick Drift Podcast. If you enjoy what we do here, you can leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we put out a brand new episode. We're either really close to 1,000 subs or we've already passed it by the time this episode comes
What if
out.
we can
If we
own
passed
a
it,
dog?
if we passed 1,000 by the time this episode comes out, thank you guys for all your support. Colin will be playing Danganronpa very soon.
Yes.
If we haven't passed it yet, we must be very close. And our goal is to hit 1,000 before Tears of the Kingdom comes out. So we got 2 more days to hit 1,000 if we haven't already. So, with that being said, thank you everybody for watching and listening. I don't know what next week's episode is going to be. We'll
Turn
figure
Link
it out.
into Kirito.
But
No.
I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
He'll see you guys next time, not us.
Bye. Potelda.
Thank you.